Hi everyone, welcome to the Swagger or OpenAPI course part 2. I hope you are having a great day and yeah, you will have a great day. Let's get some knowledge. In this video, we'll learn why do we need this OpenAPI. Okay, we'll learn OpenAPI and we'll write the OpenAPI specifications for our own API. But why do we need this? And some uses of OpenAPI. Why OpenAPI means, let's assume there is a one community, a open source community, who will fix the bugs. Okay, who will fix the bugs. In every organization, they will take a contract and who will fix the bugs. Suppose there is one organization who uses one specification type and another organization will use another specification type to write their APIs. So for this open source community, they will come and they will go to one organization and they will take the API and they will fix the bugs by understanding the specification, okay, by understanding the document. And if they go to the organization too, there is a different specification and there is a different syntax they followed. So to understand their API, they will spend lot of time, right? They have to spend lot of time. So there will be a there is no standard. So if there is a standard for them, it will be useful. And so why do we need OpenAPI? There should be one standard. That's why we need an OpenAPI. And another thing is, you can ask me like, okay, we don't give APIs to bugs to fix for these APIs for outside community. We'll fix with our developers. So in that case, let's assume there is one API. Who builds that API? Okay, he builds that API and other people want to fix some bugs in that API. Those who build the API, you know everything, right? But another one who fix the API bugs within your organization, he is a member of your organization. So if he wants to fix these bugs, he has to understand lakhs of lines of code. So in that case also, we need this OpenAPI. So there will be, there is no standard if there is no open API, right? And there is an improper API documentation if there is no open API. And another thing is, let's assume there is a public API, which means consumers can use that APIs. So producers and consumers, there is a lot of collaboration between them. Like consumers ask, my request is like this and response should be like this, and developers, that means producers, will have a lot of collaboration with a lot of communication with the consumers and they will build some API. And there is a public API who uses, okay. So let's assume there is one new consumer will come and tell, okay, I need this type of response. I don't need that type of response and I will give this type of request, my own type of request. So in that case, for developers who build that API, it will be like a nightmare, right? If there is no open API. So these are some things to note down, like why do we need these open API? And next, let's see what are the uses, advantages of open API. There are some 4 points. There are many advantages, but I listed these main advantages of OpenAPI. The first one is easy understanding. This OpenAPI specification is just like document which is written using JSON or YAML, right? So every human or machine can understand this OpenAPI specification. So that's the one point. And development will be easier. So if there is a, let's assume there is one, we need to build one API. For that, we need some feedback, right? We need some feedback from consumers also. So we'll build mock API, mock server API using this specification. It's just like example, okay, my API will look like this using OpenAPI specification, so that they will deploy in public and they will get the public pulse, like consumers feedback. So for the then development will be easier by getting that feedback. Third one is server and client code. What it means is we have an OpenAPI specification. We have one document. Using that, there are some tools. Swagger tool, there is one Swagger code gen tool. If we deploy our specification, this document, it will create a server code. It means JavaScript code, backside database code. It will create backend code, not database code, backend code. And it will create a client code by using the specifications. Okay. Then another one is validation of data. Let's assume we build one API. Okay. In that API, okay, we'll deploy and we'll start working with that API. API will flow some data. There will be a data flowing through that API, right? Like from that API to that API, like request and responses. We can see that data and we can compare with the OpenAPI specification so that we can validate the data. Okay, this API is giving response correctly and it is taking the request body correctly. So these are some of the advantages of OpenAPI specifications. So we have learned like why do we need this OpenAPI and uses of OpenAPI, and I'll again give one definition of this OpenAPI. It's just a way, it will describe the way of defining the HTTP based APIs. For example, let's take RESTful APIs. It's a HTTP based APIs. It will give a way, okay, we have to describe this API in this way. We have to use this language, syntax and all. So that's about our OpenAPI uses and need. In next video, we'll see the Swagger tools. Thank you.